Welcome to this special episode. I am so excited to talk to you about Barbault Basket. This is a major cosmic configuration in the sky that is aligning at its peak from July 19th through the 21st, 2026, and it's what I want to talk to you about today. I hope you enjoy our time together.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay, so I want to remind you, I am not an astrologer, but when I heard about Barbault Basket, Barbault was a French astrologer who made a lot of predictions. Look him up if you haven't heard of him. Barbault. Fantastic predictions. And he looked to the dates coming up July 19th to July 21st of 2026 and really saw some opportunities happening with what was aligning in the heavens. Astrologers view this particular alignment that's coming up and peaking those days as one of the most important energetic shifts of the decade. So this is how cosmic this event is. In what I've read on it and what you would read too is this alignment and this configuration, I should call it a configuration, is really an invitation to spiritual awakening. These two kind of perspectives, spiritual advancement, but also technological advancement. And it's so interesting. In my opinion, the two go hand in hand because the more we tap into our intuitive nature, the more our expanded consciousness can come up with this creative genius of technology and what it can afford us, but also where it can lead, whether, helpful or not so helpful kind of discoveries. How's that? I really decided that I was going to talk to you about this a few days ago. Like, this was just really recent. But this morning before I started recording, my husband and I were at a local fundraising event, and it was particularly on housing. Where I live, we have a lot of fundraising events for the local community, and the invitations peak in the summer so that we might be part of the givers, right? And people helping to create change. And I was sitting there knowing that I was going to come talk to you. And I thought, golly, this is really apropos for just these few days right ahead of the cosmic event of Barbault Basket. Why? Because housing and housing scarcity is really one of the issues that this configuration in the cosmos wants us to turn our attention to. The opportunity that Barbault Basket gives in regards to spiritual awakening isn't just, wow, I'm going to have this expanded consciousness and I'm going to be able to read people's minds and see clairvoyantly and hear clairaudiently. Yes, that is a part of it. But it's also heart opening and it's spiritual evolution, this ability to rise to these higher states of consciousness. And as you know, if you sat through my 12 chakra journey, soul yoga, and the lessons in each of those episodes, you know that as you move through the chakras in your body, the map to reaching your highest potential and the planet and all of us highest potential on the planet, as you get to the higher chakras, you are really working with states of consciousness, and cosmic consciousness is one of them that I teach on. It's really about this unity or that this interconnectedness that we have to each other and to our world, and that our choices matter. And I realized, oh, this is spirit. Why that you wanted me to bring us all through the chakras as elevated states of consciousness, but then also you wanted me to speak to Barbault Basket and what that invitation to spiritual awakening really is speaking to. Boots on the ground. What is it bringing this spiritual awakening to the planet, right? This isn't for when we move on and go to the next realm of wherever that is, but it's really about bringing that spiritual awakening here. If you follow the 12 chakras, the last one was your divine chakra, and it's really about, and even the soul yoga journey episode, is really about bringing that higher state of awareness here on the planet, that, anointed as it within the divinity that you carry, embracing that to be your full self, to bring heaven to earth, I think some of you might have just turned me off, but I don't care. This is a Constance, like, I don't care anymore. Listen, I am just going to broadcast what I'm getting, and it might turn some of you off, and it might get more people on. I just am just the mouthpiece. So here we go, right? So it really is about bringing heaven to earth, or this better quality of life and consciousness here on the planet, right? And so the whole idea of Barbault's Basket bringing this opportunity for spiritual awakening means things like social justice, embracing and bringing social justice onto the planet and into our interactions. It means peace over war, abroad and in our homes and in our hearts, really coming to communication and connection and compassion, and sometimes even compromise, right? Compromise and the greater good. It means the spiritual awakening and living that as a truth is not just an intellectual understanding. It's a spiritual awareness that you bring into your daily life. It's environmental activism. It's saying, no, we're not going to have fracking. No, we're not going to have oil drilling on sacred lands or any land or public lands. Like, no, this is not okay. And it is about, what environmental impact do we each carry as individuals, but as a collective, to care for this shared earth that we inhabit that has limited resources, right? And so the beauty of technological advancements that Barbault's Basket also speaks to can become this gateway for great ideas, greater thinkings, greater innovation, great inventions to help kind of source answers to the troubles that we have with environmental affairs. And this is why, some of this is just, I was speaking with a young person today who's like, what is happening on the planet? Like, why aren't people waking up fast enough? And I was like, yeah, I know, right? And she said, I do this grief hour on Sundays. It rocked my world, you guys. When she said that, it just boom, 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 hit me. I do a grief hour where I cry for a solid hour, and then I wash my face and I take, myself out to breakfast and get on with it. Why is she grieving? She's a change agent. Many of you viewing are probably change agents, visionaries. You're like, what the heck? Where's humanity? Where is this? Where is this social justice? Where is this collective conscious raising, shifting? And so I get it with what she was saying. I sat down at my table. She was sitting at another table. And I thought, God, I really feel like wounded, like this core wound. And I realized I was picking up her grief. She's much younger than me. I would say easily, 40 years younger than me. And I thought, yeah, yeah. She's one of those people that were born on the planet thinking, oh, great, this is going to be brilliant. And she quickly looked around and said, wow, this is slow going. Why aren't these people waking up, right? And so, this is what this cosmic configuration invites in us, is where are we waking up? And so, this is about really coming on board with LGBTQ rights, right? And inclusivity, not going backwards. Healthcare access for everyone, really moving forward with that. I mean, across the board. Like across the board, across the planet, healthcare access, a basic human right, really. And also, education and opportunity. And no matter race, creed, nationality, color, no matter. Oh my gosh, wake up. This is what spiritual awakening is about. My book, Soul Yoga, Using Your 12 Chakras as a Map to Reaching Your Highest Potential, is all about coming into union with your true self. Because you see, your chakras aren't just energy centers. They're where your experiences live, your wisdom, your soul's memory. In this book, I walk you through the 12 chakras so you can remember who you are. This could be your most important journey yet. To get your copy, visit my shop at constancemessmer.com. It's not just you personally. It can't ever just be one person personally. This is a cosmic invite that is peaking July 19th through the 21st, 2026. And it's this gateway, right? This opportunity, this harmonious aspect is an opportunity for invitation, but it's not a guarantee. All of these things for spiritual awakening are possible, right? They're possible. This new civilization, this new new civilization, this new humanity, this new earth, this new, what we know in our hearts, it's meant to be, right? It requires conscious participation. It is a choice. It is a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice to have, the hard conversation with yourself and with others, loved ones that you don't see eye to eye with, and you're wondering, wow, they're living like 30 years ago. Where's the evolution? And how much do people really like living in the angst, the angst and the turmoil, as opposed to peace and love and harmony? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So with this configuration and this entry, we always get these opportunities for growth, right? And with this, it's the same. The inner planets affect people personally on a personal level more. The outer planets that are slow moving can affect the whole, and it can be slow change, right? And I know from manifesting efforts and from working in layers of consciousness and realms of spirit, and it's why I'm here in front of you. I'm a change agent. I'm a visionary. I know there's a better way than how we're living and doing it. I believe in humanity. I believe in transformation. This is an incredible planet. Those beautiful books, The Only Planet of Choice, all of these things, the miracles that are here around us when we take a moment to look and see. It's stunning. Stunning. Like the whole of creation, when you pay attention, the importance of flowers, to the bees, to the birds, to the butterflies, to the insects, to our food chain, And now some innovations like pesticides can screw that up and then go into the water table and then kill the fish or the sea life and coral reefs. I mean, it's just really interesting, right? And so this is a great time of innovation when we are meant to know better. Like that, whoever the dude was that invented plastic was probably like, this is really cool. And then now we're like, this is not so cool. this is not so cool. GMOs, oh, all of these things, right? Your choices matter. They make a difference. How you purchase, how you vote, how you interact, what you put your mind to, all of these things, what you energetically vibe out or ask in prayer, May we all know peace. May we all know peace. May we all know love. So I just want to tell you that this event is coming. Some of you might feel it on a personal level. It depends what your rising sign is, what your astrology sign is, and if the planets that are moving are housed in those naturally. That if your sign like Aquarius is housed in, I think it's Uranus or Neptune, and so I'm going to be jostled around with this. I think Leos are Leo, Aquarius. I don't remember who else because I'm not an astrologer, but look it up. You might like it. You might go, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going to be affected. And there's constantly cosmic events happening, these lineups. There's really cool things happening. And these are moments, right? These are just opportunities. And so I just want you to know about it, maybe embrace it. Again, it's really an invitation for harmony throughout mankind to come to this new place, walk this new path, right? Don't we all need that? We look around the world and there's a lot of strife and struggle. And we need some spiritual awakening. We need some greater ways of connectivity and ways of being. We need peace over war. We need to champion the environment. We need more social justice. We need outreach for food and shelter and clothing. All root chakra, all senses of safety. LGBTQ rights, people of color. Women's rights, children's rights. Advancement of goodness and light. And the new civilization is possible. This new way of being on the planet is possible, but it requires conscious participation. It requires conscious participation. And your choice matters. I've always said this to you. Your choice matters. Who you are matters. What you bring forward on the planet matters. Your light matters. The more you step into your authentic self, the more you tap into your skills and talents, and the more you bring those gifts to the planet and others. Your playing small does no one any service. It doesn't. Do what your heart is calling you to do. For the highest good, for all, really. It will make a difference. So, this major cosmic configuration of Barbault's Basket is an invitation, but it's an invitation of choice. Spiritual awakening, or the other flip side could be entering into technological advancement so much that we numb out, or we get caught up in the AI and the robots and the flying off this planet, wasting money. Sorry. You know who I'm talking about. When that money could be used for greater good and taking care of this planet. So I'm asking Spirit if there's anything else. The choice is yours. How do you want to participate? I'm just asking you to be conscious of the time. Maybe notice what comes up for you July 19th through the 21st, 2026, if you're watching this. And then if you're watching this years from now, I wonder how it went. Put in the comments then too how it went for you. Maybe you felt nothing. Maybe you felt something. Maybe the environmental landscape around you changed, shifted. Maybe local or regional or statewide or nationwide political climate changed. Who knows? I don't know. Mostly it's just calling us to wake up, to choose spiritual awakening over numbing and getting so caught up in technological advances that we forget our humanity and our human connection. So the major cosmic configuration of Barbault's Basket is an invitation of choice. What will be your RSVP? I want to be a part of the spiritual awakening, bringing the greater good on the planet. Or I'm going to give up before we start. That's probably not fair to say. But don't throw the towel in. Maybe be like that gal. Have your grief hour. I might try that. Have a grief hour to cry about what's not working. Send it up to the angels to transmute the energy and send it down as healing, love, light, awakening light to the planet and those that need it. to make incredible positive change. I'm asking Spirit, and Spirit's saying it's a wrap. They'll take it or leave it. Okay. So what am I going to do? From July 19th to July 21st, 2026, I'm going to be super aware of my thoughts and feelings and downloads and insights and inspirations. I'm going to make and create space for those things. So I am probably going to have my morning coffee time with my journal and specifically ask, what do you ask of me? You know, I go to the highest source truth, right? Source energy. What do you ask of me? How do you want my personal and my professional life to change? Where do you want me? What do you want me to do? And I might also look up those 4 planets and maybe look at where they are in my chart to see how they might be asking for attention, right? And I will then also, in that morning time of journaling and coffee, send out prayer and hold humanity in my heart for spiritual awakening for all, especially the powers that be, for a true revolution of greater understanding of alignment with love and light. Thanks for tuning in.